Hello Taurus, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self to ultimately create the life that you desire and deserve? As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have the tarot deck I'll be pulling from, the clarification deck, and the advice deck that I'll be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Taurus, let's jump on in your recent past. You have what do you need to release with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This feels like there's something blocking your flow of abundance here. Because the Six of Pentacles in reverse is a lot of output, but not a whole lot of input. So giving a lot, but not really feeling like you're receiving to the extent of what you're giving. Which I feel like you're in a way. I feel like you're deserving of a lot more than what it is that you've been receiving. But there's something that has been blocking that flow of abundance. Now, in your current energy, you have the end of a tough cycle approaches with the world. So this is the energy of closing out the cycle of not receiving. Being in this energy of lacking, of feeling like you're giving so much, you're showing up so much, but not getting back what it is that you deserve. And I feel like it's going to be a tough cycle for anybody. But as you move forward, I feel like things start to shift because you are good enough with the justice here. So it kind of feels like a balance, like almost in karma in some way, almost like the universe brings balance into your life. Like all of this energy that you've expended, all of this love and effort that you've given out, it's almost like it's starting to make way for you to receive that back. However, it still requires the release of something that's blocking that flow. So it's kind of twofold here. Now, the overall theme of the reading is hope and happiness. And I just feel like this is just such a joyful card, especially if you feel like you've been kind of lacking the hope that things will ever get better, or lacking the hope that you'll ever find your way, or that you'll ever break out of this kind of lack energy. I feel like this is very much, it's just very positive. It's very uplifting. I feel like that's the theme of this reading, is kind of uplifting, especially if I'm speaking to a collective that's kind of been stuck in this cycle for a while. I feel like the uplifting is very needed. But that's just overall energy. Let's dive into the deeper energy here. You have what do you need to release with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This is for Taurus's recent past. Ace of Wands, Ten of Cups in reverse, action aligned with expectation, but not passion, or okay. So, one of the number one ways that we have a tendency to set ourselves up for disappointment is we invest in something for the expectation of what it could potentially be. Now, obviously, we invest in our life because we hope that, these things that we do turn into something good or turn into something great. But where we kind of make the mistake is when we say, I am willing to accept less than what I deserve for the sake of what could happen later on. And we invest in the potential of something instead of investing in something because it makes us happy or it brings us joy now. And we do that a lot in relationships. We'll invest in a relationship and we'll say, this isn't really what I want, and this isn't really what I'm looking for, but maybe if I give enough, eventually it will be. And so we're in this energy of giving all this love and this attention and this energy out, accepting very little back, hoping that things eventually change. We do this a lot in careers too. We'll show up for a career that we don't really enjoy, but we have this idea of like, oh, when I get this promotion or when I get to this amount of income, like then I'll be happy. So we're miserable in the time being. We accept a reality that doesn't align with our worth for the time being out of hopes for what something could be later on. And that absolutely sets us up for disappointment, because whatever we give to the energy that we expend, the energy we put out is the energy we get back. So if we're accepting less than what it is that we deserve, you're putting out this energy to the universe that says, this is all that I deserve. This is all that I'm worth. And the universe is going to keep showing up with that same energy. And then that ultimately blocks our flow of abundance in the end. So some expectation was blocking you here. Now, this doesn't mean like, oh, you're completely on the wrong path. Like, I feel like this is still a very positive reading, so bear with me. Okay, past energy here for Taurus. Not listening to yourself. Page of Cups in reverse, 10 of Wands. Oh, Taurus, heavy energy, burdensome energy. Like this is the freaking struggle right here. And then this Page of Cups in reverse is this energy of not really listening to yourself. Almost like you had maybe you were experiencing burnout, or you were experiencing, like, because sometimes our emotional or our suppressed emotional pain can come out in physical chronic pain. A lot of it's just this energy of kind of ignoring how you feel and just kind of trying to push through. No, because when I get here, when I get to this outcome, when this happens, like then I'll be good, then I'll be happy, then I'll be fulfilled. But that time never came. And that's where I feel that the cycle has repeated itself, is because it's this energy of, why am I not receiving? When in reality, it's not that the universe doesn't want to bring you what you desire, because the universe is always supporting us in pursuit of our highest good. It's that there's a part of you that's blocking it. And you might be like, how am I blocking it? If I'm showing up for it, why am I not creating it? Why is it not happening? Well, there's a part of you that only believes that you are deserving if you are suffering in the meantime. If you're burning yourself out, if you're miserable, if you're stressed out, if you're overwhelmed, if you're constantly giving but not receiving, that to you in your mind is what makes you feel deserving. But you are not deserving because of those things. You are deserving for who you are right now in this moment, regardless of those things, regardless of all the extra stuff. So this is very much about understanding that our life is a reflection of what we think we deserve. And if our life is not what we want it to be, it's because a part of us doesn't believe we're deserving of more. It always comes from within, as within, or so within, as within. As within, so without. Yeah, I had it right the first time. All right. But let's get more, because yeah, this is heavy energy. This is like, and of course, creating any success or getting, what we want, it takes dedication, it takes commitment, but it doesn't have to be so hard. And this is this energy of putting just a lot of pressure on yourself, Taurus. It's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of unfair expectations on you for the sake of like an outcome. Reset past for Taurus, which was ultimately, I feel like, what was blocking you. High Priestess, this is another card of like just not listening to yourself, not listening to your intuition. Okay, 5 of Cups in reverse, 6 of Pentacles in reverse, and Wheel of Fortune. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. A lot of disappointment. So what is this High Priestess in reverse trying to say? It's a lot of reverse cards too. Clarifying this High Priestess in reverse. The Justice in reverse. Not listening to yourself led to you not getting what it is that you need and what it is that you deserve here. Interesting. Okay. We're getting somewhere. So now, what do you need to know? How can we close this cycle? How can we break this cycle for you, Taurus, so you can receive this abundance, receive what it is you deserve? Current energy for Taurus, the end of a tough cycle approaches with the World here. Does Taurus need to know about their current energy? About flipping that Justice on its head. Okay. So it's adding on to this message. Justice in reverse, 6 of Pentacles in reverse. I feel the need to clarify this. So this is the cycle. Not getting what you deserve. That's the cycle. It's pretty straightforward. So you've been stuck in this cycle for a while. Ooh. Oh, it is burnout. It's burnout, exhaustion. Okay. 9 of Cups, Devil, Fool, King of Wands in reverse, and the 4 of Swords in reverse. So a lot of self-doubt. Before I was a spiritual person at all, before I had a spiritual coaching business, a tarot reading business, I was a financial advisor. And I was a good financial advisor at that. But my success came at the expense of like my mental and emotional well-being. I mean, I was working 12 to 14 hours a day, sometimes through the weekends. I was making good money, but it was because I was just burning myself out. And to me, I felt like, of course I was deserving of this abundance that I was receiving, this financial payout, because I was miserable all the time. Like, if I'm going to be miserable, I'm going to be miserable for something. And long story short, I had a spiritual awakening. I realized I didn't want to do that anymore. Got into a spiritual path, opened this business, started this business. And now I'm at a place where I'm actually making more money now doing this. And this is not a brag. This is just, bear with me. More money doing this, doing spiritual coaching, than I was as a financial advisor. But I am only working like 15 to 20 hours a week. So I was working 12 to 14 hour days, sometimes through the weekend. I'm now working 15 to 20 hours a week. Okay. And I say this because when I made that shift, it wasn't just a shift in, yes, I was getting more into alignment with what my soul was meant to do. It was also a shift of me realizing that my ability to be financially stable, my ability to have financial abundance, was not dependent on how miserable I was, but how deserving I thought I was. And I thought I was more deserving when I was miserable, which made me believe when I started making money doing spiritual coaching, I was like, oh, whoa, like this, I'm cheating the system. Like, this doesn't feel right. Because in my mind, since I wasn't miserable and I wasn't burning myself out all the time, then I wasn't deserving of that abundance. And we do this thing where we believe that our success and our ability to be loved and to have what it is that we desire has to come at the, because we suffer. We have to be miserable. It has to be hard. It has to be painful in order for us to reach a certain level of success or abundance. And that's not true. It's not true at all. You've been taught that that's true, but it's not true. It's not about how much you push and how much you force and how hard you try. It's about how much you trust, how much you believe you're deserving. Yes, you have to show up, and yes, you have to align your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions with the life you wish to create. Sure, absolutely 100%, but not at the expense of your well-being. And the more that you've been kind of forcing yourself into this like burnout, overgiving, overextending state, the more you've actually been blocking yourself from receiving, because a part of you doesn't think that you are deserving unless you are like miserable in some way. And I feel like that's the cycle. The universe is saying you haven't gotten what you deserve because you don't think that you're worthy of it. And you're worthy of it now, right now. You always have been, but you're worthy of it right now. Not when you prove it to others, not when you work yourself to the bone, not when you sacrifice your mental or emotional well-being for a relationship. That's not what makes you worthy of what it is that you desire. You're worthy right now. So this is about getting in tune with the parts of yourself that doesn't think that you're deserving. If you're not living a life of your dreams, if you're not living a life that you desire, it's because a part of you doesn't think it's possible. And if a part of you doesn't think it's possible, it's because a part of you doesn't believe you're deserving. So we've got to get in tune with those parts of ourselves. We got to figure out what part of you, Taurus, thinks that you are deserving only when you're miserable. What part of you? Because it doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be so hard. It's challenging and it can push you to grow and evolve and all those wonderful things, but it doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to be miserable and burnt out and exhausted and suffering for the sake of what it is that you desire. So the universe is trying to take you to a new beginning here. with the Fool. All right, what else does Taurus need to know about their current energy? Current energy for Taurus. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh. Queen of Cups. Page of Cups in reverse. Here's the problem. Okay. I feel like you have so much love to give, okay? So much compassion to give. I mean, this Queen of Cups is very heartwarming energy. And I feel like you're here to help people and to be there for others and to, give. I feel like that's your nature. Give. But you're not so comfortable in the receiving role. You're very comfortable in the giving and not receiving role, not in the giving and receiving role. And I feel like that's a big part of what is keeping you from what it is that you deserve, is you have to be open to receiving. And we're open to receiving by understanding that we are just as deserving of what we give. The energy that you give out is valuable, and that deserves to be compensated. And I'm not just talking about money, like in the form of love or obviously, yes, material abundance in some form. But right now, it's like the amount that you feel you have to give in order to receive even a little bit is imbalanced. It's like you feel like you need to give so much in order to receive bare minimum. But that's actually not true. That belief is what's keeping you stuck in the cycle of not receiving. You deserve to receive equal to what you give. It's very obvious here, Taurus, that you have a really wonderful heart, and you're here to, being in service of others is fantastic and is a very important thing. But never at the expense of yourself. Never at the expense of yourself, Taurus. And I feel like that is the mindset shift that has to happen here. What else does Taurus need to know about their current energy? Does Taurus need to know about their current energy? This is about finding balance. This is about finding balance in your life, because balance is sustainable. I see this all the time. People, I'm willing to, let's compare it to trying to get in physical shape, okay? Just because this is one way to kind of start understanding this message. You see it all the time in kind of the fitness world. People they'll eat super restrictive. They'll work out, every single day for hours and hours and hours. And then they'll do it for a couple weeks or maybe even a couple months, and then they'll eventually fall off. Because what they were doing was not sustainable for the long term. They were doing what they were doing out of hopes for the result, not out of hopes of it being sustainable. Lacking the balance. Every success, every positive outcome in our life has to come from a place of balance. We have to understand that, yes, working hard is important, but so is rest. We have to understand that, yes, giving love is important, but also receiving it is just as important too. We're so used to living in an unbalanced life that is almost like this place of proving our value. If I give, if I show up, if I try really, really hard, then eventually everyone's going to see I'm valuable. I'm going to finally get what it is that I deserve. But that's actually not how it works. You have to show up in your life in a way that is sustainable for you long term. This is something I always have to check myself on. I look at my day-to-day and I say, can I do this for the next 10 years? Obviously, yes, I want things to change and I want to evolve and I want to grow, but I also want to make sure I'm enjoying the journey and enjoying the process, because I know I'm not just happy when I reach this goal in the future. I'm happy now. That's this hope and happiness card. This is allowing yourself to be happy now. Doing what you need to do, showing up for your life in a way that allows you to be happy today, which is requiring you to find balance. Yes, take care of others, but take care of yourself. Yes, show up for other people, show up for yourself. Yes, chase your dreams, go all in, but make sure you are also resting and taking care of your soul too. You have to find that balance in order to find that place of understanding that you are deserving, not for your output, not for what you do, not for what you achieve, not for where you get in this life, but for who you are right now in this moment. And you getting to that place of knowing you're deserving right now allows you to be happy now. And that happiness, that energy that you give out, because what we give out is what we attract back, that's what's going to attract the outcomes you deserve. It's not overextending yourself to prove that you're worthy. It's knowing that you are worthy so that you can allow. It's the difference between forcing and flowing. That's what this is about, the difference between forcing and flowing. So finding that balance. That's what your current energy is about. So I have had to actually experience this a lot in my own business. There are times where I'm taking on a bunch of clients and I'm doing a ton of readings and I'm burnt out and I'm miserable, and I'll sit there and I'll be like, man, I'm working so hard, but I feel like I'm not making the money that is like proportionate to the amount of work that I'm doing. And then I'll realize that I'm being told to slow down. So I'll slow down and like my income will stay the same, but my energy levels heighten. It's like my readings will do better. I'll attract more clients because I'm not coming from this place of feeling like I have to burn myself out in order to receive. When we're feeling like we have to burn ourselves out in order to receive, we are blocking our flow. It's not about forcing. It's not about trying really, really hard. It's about trusting that you're deserving and getting into the flow of the universe. All right, so what does Taurus need to know moving forward? You are good enough with the justice here. What does Taurus need to know moving forward? Whoa, Chariot. Forward movement. Forward movement after a long period of being stuck. Forward movement after a long period of being stuck. Because I feel like this is making sure you're taking care of you too. Making sure your needs are being prioritized, your dreams, your goals. It's not about everyone else, Taurus. It's not about making other people happy, because here's the thing. And I hear this all the time. It's like, well, we should be in service of others, or we should be, it's not just about us. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not just about us. But if you want to be in service of others, if you want to be a good partner, if you want to have a passion ran business, it also can't be about everybody else, because your cup will eventually run dry, and you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are not making sure that your needs and your dreams are being prioritized, you will eventually get to this place where you say, I have nothing left to give, because you are not being prioritized in the process. So finding that balance is going to actually help you move faster, move forward quicker, because you're going to have the sustainable energy to show up for your life. Now, this might require letting go of things that require you to overgive. Relationships, careers that require you to burn yourself out, because that is not a requirement in order for you to be happier and abundant. Maybe it's a belief that it is, but it's not an actual requirement. All right, what else does Taurus? And I feel like that's what it is. It's like when you realize that you're good enough for abundance, not when you're burning yourself out, but for who you are, then you actually see more progress than you have been burning yourself out. Overextending, overgiving. What does Taurus need to know moving forward? The Hangman. And the Four of Swords in reverse. This is surrendering. This is letting go. This is trusting. And boy, is trusting the universe an important key to all of this. If you are forcing what isn't working over and over and over again, eventually you're going to get to a place. It's like if you run a car into a brick wall over and over again, eventually that car is not going to start anymore. The universe isn't asking you to try harder. It's not asking you to do more. I feel like the universe is actually asking you to try a little less and to believe more, to trust more, to trust in yourself more, to trust in your level of deservingness and your level of capability. Because you are deserving of what it is that you desire, and you don't have to prove that to anybody, not even yourself. You can just know that. You can just show up in your life and say, I'm deserving of good things, and you don't have to prove that to a damn person. And when you come from that place of knowing your worth and knowing what you're deserving of, your movements are going to be different. You're going to set boundaries. You're going to stand up for yourself. You're not going to overwork yourself, because you're going to know that's not a requirement in order for you to be loved or happy or abundant. And it's not. We get on this, it's called the hedonic treadmill. And we look for some future outcome to make us happy, some future result to bring us joy, to bring us fulfillment. And we keep looking and we keep looking, and we give and we search and we chase. That's not where happiness is found. Happiness is found by prioritizing it today. Making sure that you wake up every single day and you are doing, yes, what you have to, because we all have obligations, we all have responsibilities, but also what you want to. It can be both. You have to have that joy and that passion, that excitement for life today. Not only when the big things happen, not only when you experience the outcomes and the successes, because those are few and far between. It's about finding happiness in the everyday, mundane moments by making sure that you are prioritizing the things that bring you joy. And you got to let go of the rest and trust that you are deserving of good things, even when prioritizing your own happiness. In fact, prioritizing your own happiness is inherently coming from this place of knowing your worth and knowing what you're deserving of, which then inherently is going to attract situations in your life that align with that worth. This is kind of a deeper one, but I feel like it's important. All right, last card. What does Taurus need to know moving forward? It's like giving yourself permission to be happy. Not when you get there or when you have this or when this happens, but like now. Giving yourself permission to be happy now. What does Taurus need to know moving forward? Star. The 9 of Wands. What is this star talking about? Death in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. Okay. More opportunities are going to appear when you stop trying to force them. Now, I want this is what balance is about, okay? Yes, you have to make sure you're showing up for the life you wish to create. Yes, you have to be honest with yourself and saying, am I doing everything that I can to show up in the best way I can for my life? You've got to do those things. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, am I making sure I'm getting enough rest so I can properly show up for my life? Am I making sure that I'm not just focusing on meeting the needs of others, that I'm meeting my needs myself? That balance has to be there. It's not all or nothing. It's not saying, I'm going to do nothing and hope that things change, okay? Because that's going to keep you stuck in the cycle of waiting. But it's also not, I'm going to do everything and hope that eventually I get to where I desire, because that's going to keep you in the cycle of burnout. So it's finding that balance of saying, yes, I'm showing up for my life in the best way I know how, but I'm also showing up for myself. Because if I don't show up for myself, I can't show up for my life. And if I don't show up for my life, I can't get where I want to go. So finding that balance is important. I feel like that when you find that, it's almost like it closes out this cycle of like burnout, overextending yourself, overgiving, and it creates new opportunities for you to find the success and the abundance and the love that you've been ultimately searching for. So there are opportunities you don't even know about, but these opportunities are blocked by this energy of trying to almost prove yourself, prove your worth, prove your value. And you have nothing to prove to anybody. In fact, the more you feel you have to prove, the less you believe you're deserving. Because that means that you think that you need other people to see your value in order for you to be valuable, which you don't. Again, nobody has to see your value but you. People can doubt your value all day long. The only person that needs to believe in it is you. And when you get to that place of knowing your value and knowing what you bring to the table and knowing how worthy and deserving you truly are, that's when you'll start to see the results. It's not when you prove, it's when you believe. All right, Taurus, we're going to hop on over to the extended. This extended is going to be focused on what you can do right now to ensure you're moving forward in alignment with your higher self. Thank you so much, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Taurus.